Some guys are only about.
Hello, you guys. Welcome back to A Love Perspective. And tonight I want to talk sex with you guys. Most importantly, I want to talk to you about the dangers of casual sex and frequent sex partners. Don't get me wrong, I'm very aware of the normalization of casual sex, but what's starting to worry me is people's lack of knowledge on the spiritual impact that casual sex and frequent sex partners has on us. I think what I'm noticing with people at a very common rate is that they don't realize that when two people surrender into a sexual intimate moment, they are allowing entities to be exchanged between them. And when I say entities, it's just the exchange of spiritual energy between one another. For certain, sexual entities affects men and women both just as much. It affects women in a different way than it affects men because women are internal creatures, meaning that when we do have sex, we take it in eternally, versus men, it's more of an external thing for them because their genitals are external while ours are internal. So it's going to be more of an internal experience for us. But both man and woman are exchanging spiritual energy. And that's all fine and dandy until you come to the point where you recognize that you don't want to be exchanging spiritual energy with everybody. And one thing I'm starting to recognize is that we're getting so caught up in having these casual sex and these different frequent sex partners that when we are taking on these spiritual energy, we're taking them on in a personal sense that we're not even able to acknowledge and discern the change or the spiritual things that are attacking us because we aren't aware of the effect that these different sex partners or these different sexual relationships are having on us. For example, have you ever hung around somebody and their energy just rubbed you the wrong way, but you might not have used the terms her energy or his energy rubbed me the wrong way. You just might have used the term and said something about her I just didn't like, or something about him I just didn't like. It wasn't just that it was something that you just didn't like. It was a spiritual energy that you were able to feel, you were able to discern, and it turned you off. You were not able to connect with it, and it was not something that was able to make you comfortable. It's the same thing with sex, but see, when we have sex, we tend to choose people that we want to have sex with, so we're more blind to the spiritual demons that they carry. Now, here's the thing. When you go around and you're giving your body to different people, you're sharing whatever baggage and garbage that they have within themselves and whatever baggage and garbage you have within yourself. You're both agreeing to take those things on and you're going to share it together. You're creating one with each other. He's coming here and she's coming here and they're creating one. You're creating one body and one spirit and one form of spiritual energy. Whether you plan to be long-term or short-term with this person, you will always carry with you whatever spiritual demons and baggage that they had with them because you have shared something that is so intimate with them. Sex is not just a physical act. It is a very intimate act and it affects you on so many different levels. And if you are not wise or inclined enough to have the knowledge necessary to be able to notice these things or even to protect yourself from these things, you're going to find yourself being the victim of a whole lot of different spiritual demons that you aren't able to recognize. And if you cannot recognize a spiritual demon, then you cannot protect yourself from it. That's why it is very important. And I always recommend to girls and males to be very careful about the people that you choose to share your body with, because you're not just sharing your body, you're sharing everything that's within. If you go around and you have sex with somebody that's evil and malicious and vindictive and they have all these ugly traits in them, when they have sex with you, you're taking on a little piece of their spirit. And then you let another person come, and that person might be a thief and a liar and manipulative. And now you've taken on a piece of that spirit. And then you got another person, and that person might be insecure and just a whole bunch of other wicked and ugly things. You never know what demons someone's carrying, especially if you don't have the gift of discernment, it's even harder to acknowledge a demon or to discern the demons that someone's carrying. So now you've taken on all these different spirits and they're inside of you. So look at it like this. Imagine this. Everybody close your eyes. If you're watching this right now, close your eyes and picture it like this. You've had sex with, I'm going to give it a low number of 5 people. Male or female, you've had sex with 5 people. Now, if 5 of those people, or if 3 of those people out of those 5 have a bunch of negative and nasty demons inside of themselves that they didn't even know that they had, and now they've shared them with you, now within you, there's 2 maybe good spirits, plus your own spirit, plus the 3 that they got. They're all jumping around inside of you, and then you start to feel lost, and you start to feel confused. You ever notice that a person that has a large body count is confused? They don't really have an understanding of life. They don't really have an understanding of themselves because there's too many spirits living within them. So that's why it's very important to be careful about who you share yourself with, because the older I get, I recognize that sex is not just something to do when there's nothing to do, because after a while you start to feel weighed down and you start to feel heavy, and it's not that you're starting not to like sex or you're starting not to like men or you're starting not to like women. It's that you have too many different spiritual entities living within you. You can't even pinpoint your own personal spirit because you're so mixed up with so many different things, because you've allowed so many different things and people to meet you on that intimate level. You have to learn to protect your space, protect your energy, and most importantly, you need to protect your spirit, because anything that latches onto you, it is hard to get off. And the devil does use sex, music, and media as a way to allow demons to get within us. That's why I also tell people to be careful of the things that you're reading. Be careful of the things that you're listening to, because demons come in different disguises. And once they latch onto you, it's very, very hard to get off. And if it's hard to get off once they latch onto you, imagine how much harder it is to get those demons off if you aren't even aware that they are there in the first place. Now, I understand that everybody wants to have fun and everybody wants to have sex, but is it worth your soul, and is it worth your spirit, and is it worth ending up lost and confused? I don't think that's really worth it all at the end of the day. You ever came to a point where you've had sexual intercourse with somebody because you were sexually frustrated or you were horny, and then after you had the orgasm, you found yourself feeling empty and dissatisfied, or you might not have even been the person that felt that, but your partner may have felt that way, and you guys walked away with just an orgasm. But okay, now you have this orgasm, but you have all this turmoil within yourself. It's because it wasn't just a physical act. You just shared spiritually something with someone else, and you guys have just created this spiritual divine energy, and now you can't shake it because now it's a part of you. You have to be aware of the people you are allowing into you, and it's not just in a matter of terms of sex. This is important in friendships as well. We all hate the saying of, you ever notice that you take on the habits of your friends? I've noticed posts on Instagram and Twitter and things saying when she starts to talk like you, then you know she's your girl. That shows you right there that after you spend enough time with somebody and enough intimate space with somebody, you do start to take on their characteristics, and you do start to share a little bit of their spirit. And that's why they say that birds of a feather flock together, because if you hang with a group of liars and thieves long enough, you're gonna start lying and stealing, no matter how many times you want to deny it and say, no, I got enough control, I got enough self-control. Baby, demons are strong, they are smart, they are cunning, and they are malicious, and they know just how to get into your spirit. So you have to be careful of not only the sexual partners you're choosing, but the friendships you're choosing. You have to be careful of the energy that you are allowing around you, because you don't know what demons or what type of spirit someone has within them. You can't just look at somebody's good looks or nice outfit or nice car or pocket full of money and figure out who they are, because the spirit is within. It's hidden. There is no physical face for it. You get what I'm saying? So if you can't see someone's spirit, then you have to start praying to the Lord that he gives you the gift of discernment, that you can start to be able to catch these little things, because you don't want to start taking on everyone else's garbage, and you want to be able to protect your space, because after a while, all those sex partners and all that casual sex you having, it starts to wear and take a toll on you, and you end up feeling lost. Don't be so quick to jump into a friendship or a sexual relationship with somebody just because you want the physical fun and you want that right now, because it has long-term consequences. And you don't want to be facing long-term consequences for something that was only a temporary pleasure.